What do you want me to say?
Your whole name?
My name is Samuel P. Mattarella.
Samuel P?
P. P as in Paul.
Samuel Paul Mattarella.
Samuel Paul Mattarella, yes.
And you were born?
1927. May the 14th of 1927. Makes me 83 years old. You get it?
Hello? Can you say something?
Hello, 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 hello.
It's like kind of turn it off like so.
Oh.
On and off. Here you go.
Okay. Now.
You can even let it down if you want, so you can have some.
Now it's cold.
I have it tightened, so.
Yeah.
You probably want to move your hand.
Go ahead.
So you born 1927?
Yep, 1927.
In Michigan?
In Flint, Michigan. On Jameson Street. Near the General Motors factories in Flint, Michigan.
And both your parents are Italian?
Yeah, my parents both are from Italy and from Palermo. My dad came over here when he was 14 years old, and he met my mother a little bit later when they decided that he needed a wife. So they teamed him up with my mother, and she lived in Detroit at her aunt's house, and he went over there and he saw her and he liked her, and so they got together and got married, and then they had me. Isn't that lucky for me?
I think it'll be better now.
Yeah, that's very lucky for me that they got together. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. You're the only son? No, I had a brother.
One brother?
Yeah, he's died a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Was he older than you?
No, he's younger. He was 2 years younger than I was.
So you grew up in Flint? Yes. How was growing up in Flint?
Yeah, it was nice. I didn't think nothing of it. We lived in a moderate neighborhood, you know. There was blacks and whites lived together. There was a lot of Italians. They were sectioned like the south side of Flint was mostly Italians and Syrians, and then you get into the middle and there was a lot of Slovaks, Germans, and then a lot of Polish as you go north. There's a lot of Polish people.
What did your parents do?
My parents worked in the shops. My parents were my father worked in the Buick for 45 years. My mother worked at AC during World War II when everybody went to war, and she worked for 26 years at AC. At AC, yeah.
I mean, one man in the front and one woman working. Right?
Yeah, there was a lot of women working, but she retired from AC after 26 years.
The spark plug.
AC spark plug. It's now nothing there but an empty field. It went down the drain.
GM started with Buick, right?
Yeah. There was it was Buick, and the AC was Albert Champion, and they called it AC at that time. Made spark plugs, oil filters, air cleaners, fuel pumps, mass airflow sensors. Cruise control systems, you wouldn't believe it, everything. Okay?
And you went to work for GM too, right?
Oh yeah, after I was in the 12th grade, then I enlisted in the Navy, and I went into the Navy for a year, and then the war ended, so I was discharged. I came back, went back to high school.
Second World War.
Yeah, World War II. And went back to high school, graduated from high school. And then I went to radio school in Detroit for 2 years. and I studied electronics and television and all of that stuff. Worked for Western Electric, putting up PA systems. Worked for Roman Cleanser while I was going to school. Then I got out and went and got a job in the Buick. I was in the Buick for about a year and a half or so, and somebody called me from AC and wanted me to transfer to AC because they needed a guy with electronic experience and something like that. So.
Take out the glass or no?
Huh?
You want to take out the glass or no?
Did I what?
You want to take?
Take glass.
No?
So then I went to. I quit Buick and I transferred. It was Buick and AC were General Motors plants. So I transferred to AC. Worked in the lab as a lab assistant. Worked there about a year, and the guy Bob Smith, that was the head, one of the heads of the research department, asked me to come up there and work in his department. So that's how I got into the research department. Then from there I went to, I worked in the research department for quite a few years. Went to college, got a degree, associate degree in science, and eventually I became the supervisor of the laboratory. I had 11 people working for me, all college graduates. We did we worked in the development department, so we did all the development work for the engineering, and like mass airflow sensors and cruise control systems. There was people in our area that developed the cruise system. And we couldn't make any money on the cruise system, so we shipped it over to Juarez, Mexico. Built their plants and paid them 80 cents an hour to produce our cruise control systems. That's the only way we could make money, or else we wouldn't be able to produce them anymore. Can't make no money. Yeah.
Would sell to other company.
Yeah. So anyway, I got.
You want to get a jacket or something?
No. Anyway, I got very involved with a lot of people all over the world.
Did you travel?
We did some traveling, but mostly I did with companies that we worked with, like Catalyst Materials, things like that. W.R. Grace and some of those people that produced these ingredients that we used in the catalytic converters.
How was it growing up in Flint in the 30s?
It was nice. You know, it was not like it is nowadays. You know, you can't walk down the street and get shot. You could walk down the street anytime when I was a kid, even down Industrial Avenue. That's really tough in there too. Nothing happened to you. You know, everybody was very friendly.
And
Today,
it was in a Catholic environment?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a Catholic environment there. The Sacred Heart Church was there, and All Saints Church, and I didn't go to Catholic school, but I did go to catechism, St. Michael's, and got, you know, First Communion, all of that stuff.
Confirmation too, or no?
No, I'm not a Mason. No.
No, confirmation, like.
Oh, confirmation, yeah, I got all of that done, yeah, too. Yep, yeah. And we did, in the lab, we did a lot of development work on all kinds of equipment. You know, we had, I bought a lot of the equipment, millions and millions of dollars worth. Scanning electron microscopes, infrared spectrometers, atomic absorption spectrophotometers, X-ray diffraction, X-ray fluorescent spectrometers, emission spectrometers.
I use a lot.
We did all of that. We did all of that stuff and developed. We developed a lot of analytical methods. We even named some crystal systems because there was no evidence of anybody looking at these crystal systems. So we just gave them names, and they still stuck. They're still in the books yet. You know. Did a lot of writing at that time. I wrote articles for Materials Processing, the GM Technical Journal, and quite a few other articles.
You have
that
copies
are-
of this stuff. You have with you, like
Yeah,
copies?
I still got some of them, yeah. And we just had a hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my job. Worked for 45 years and 3 months, then retired at age 65.
So when you start working, so the money you used to earn was enough for you to like have a house and
Oh yeah, heck yes.
get married and
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, at first it was a little bit hard, but then after, when I was going to college and everything, and I worked part-time and went to school and worked in the AC,
you were you married then or no?
yeah.
Already married?
I was married at 25 years old,
That was
and when I
19
was 53 or something like that, yeah, when I was 42 years old, I bought the land where my cottage was on the lake, and I built that cottage, and we still had a house in Flint. I had a house in Flint. So
life in America then was
So I had-
really, like a lot of opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
You know, was growing a lot.
Yeah.
The second-
after, when I was 42 years old, I had a college degree. I had 4 children. I had 2 homes, my cottage and a home in Flint,
a car.
and 2 cars.
What was your first car?
It was a Buick. It was a Buick LeSabre, I think it was. Yeah,
Sabre.
yeah, Buick LeSabre. Since then, I've had probably 7 or 8 or 9 cars. I'm not sure. But that's pretty much it. So I'm retired now, and I built this. We lived out to my cottage for a while.
Why you
Our house
did
burnt.
this
Our house burnt down, and one of my boys died in that house. So when we rebuilt the house, the wife wouldn't live in it anymore. She didn't even want to go see it, so I had to sell it. And we sold the house and lived out to the lake for a couple of years. Well, we got tired of living there, so we bought this land here and built this house. And this house was built by her cousin.
You
you
want
know.
to say something about that, like the whole fire and then
Nah.
some.
No, that was a bad one. That fire just burnt the whole damn house. They had to tear the house right down to the basement floor and rebuilt a whole brand new house. And when I sold that house, I had to, you have to tell the people that somebody died in that house. It burnt down, it's rebuilt, but somebody died in that fire. You had to tell them before you could sell it like that, see. But you know what? It was brand new. Everything was new. We had buyers like crazy. We had 5, 6, 7 buyers right away. Didn't take no time to sell that house.
How much do you remember? How much you sell when?
Yeah, it was about 25 years ago, and we sold it for around 85,000, something like that. Yeah, it was good times at that time, though.
Yeah. Amen.
You know, like I had my cottage. You know, I got a bundle for that one. You know. But that's about all. And here I am.
So what do you hold like dear to your heart? Like what do you would like to pass to your children, grandchildren, and my son
Yeah, just
about life in general?
well, just be honest with everything and work hard and always have a goal to reach and strive to reach that goal. But in the meantime, don't step on people. Just do your thing and be sensible about everything. That's all I can tell you about that.
What do you have to say about America? Like how do you see America?
Yeah, I wouldn't live anywhere else. No, I see these other countries too, and I wouldn't want to live in any of the other countries. Maybe if England, possibly.
Italy?
Italy, I don't know. I'm Italian. I don't know if I want to live there or not. But because I don't have any experience about them, you know. But